Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard to the, I guess, first official video for the group project. Not, an intro video. This is going to be our first video. And of course, I am your movie man, Paperclip Mike. And if there's a genre that I love more than any other than action movies, it is horror movies. Rocking the Jason shirt right now. And one of my favorite channels I like watching on YouTube is Cody Leach. Does a lot of awesome reviews, rankings, mainly with horror movies, really nosy stuff. And he likes to do a lot of tier lists. And he just put one out today. I believe it was today, at least the last day or so, of Millennial horror movies. A lot of stuff. There's a lot of these I've grown up with as well. Watched or grown up with throughout life. And he puts the link out there. Not only am I going to link his video, I'm going to link the tier list. That way, if anybody else want to make theirs, make their own videos, have fun with it, post it, we're going to do that. And I figure what better way to show my love of horror movies, especially from, the 90s and the 2000s, than doing the tier list too. Obviously, everybody's opinions are going to be different. Everybody's opinion is the right one, as long as you're not a dick. And we're going to go through, I want to put them all in there, maybe give some little tidbits here and there about different things about the movies, but I am, however, I have not watched all of these. So, the ones I have not watched, I'll let you know, we just won't rank them, because I don't think that's fair. So let's hop into it, because I think there's 105, so we got quite a ways to go yet. Okay. The Rage Carry 2, this is actually a direct sequel to the original. Not bad. It's alright. It's a little bit more gorier than the first one. It's very 90s. So if you're from that area, you can tell this was made in the 90s. It wasn't bad. The kills are pretty good. The kills are gorier. But overall, I don't think it was bad. 28 weeks later, have not seen it, will not rank it. Now, the Blair Witch Project. A lot of people like this. I honestly think it's a piece of shit. I remember when my parents, we got the first DVD player we had, and for Christmas, me and my sister each got a DVD. I got that. She got Varsity Blues. One of my all-time favorite football movies. Rest in peace, James Vanderbeek. I've watched that movie several times. I watched this movie once, and it was when I got it, Christmas Day. If that tells you. I'm also not the biggest found footage fan, but this just didn't do it for me. I think it's extremely overrated. Teeth. This is that movie about the lady that has the teeth down in her no-no bits, and she uses that against creepy perverts. It's kind of humorous. It's a dark comedy. It's all right. It was fun for what it was. I didn't mind it. If that's your thing, it's a dark comedy. It may not work for everybody, but I didn't think it was that bad. Scream 3. Is all right. I think it's getting a better reputation than it did. People thought it was garbage. It sucked. It wasn't. Is it the weaker one? Yes, not the weakest. I think that's still Scream 6. But this one's not bad. It's the only one that had one killer. By the way, if you haven't seen it, spoiler alert for a 20-year-old movie, or shit, 25 at this point. Not bad. Demon Knight, God, yes. The bomb. If anybody hasn't seen it, I grew up watching Tales from the Crypt. I love anthology shows. This was the first movie they did. It had Jada Pinkett Smith. It had Billy Zane in it. That movie is amazing. Billy Zane eats up the scenery gloriously. Highly recommend this movie. Let the right one in. Haven't seen it. Obviously, I'm not going to review that. Disturbia. It was pretty sweet. This is basically, this was Shia LaBeouf. This was kind of his version of Rear Window. David Morse was kind of the neighbor. He's basically, Shia LaBeouf's on house arrest, and he thinks he saw his neighbor kill somebody. And if you've seen Rear Window, it's kind of like a lot of the same, it hits a lot of the same checkpoints as Rear Window. It's honestly not bad. Ginger Snaps is pretty sweet, too. It's, Catherine Isabel's in it. I'm a big fan of her work, which we'll see here later on in this list. She's in a couple of these movies. It's a werewolf movie. And it's kind of a take, it's a werewolf movie, but it's kind of a take on teenagers and their bodies growing and that sort of thing. About her turning into a werewolf. There's 3 of them. I think, honestly, the first one's the best one. Session 8, not seen that one. Stir of Echoes is pretty sweet. I like Kevin Bacon. It's kind of a ghost movie. It's kind of like a haunted house, ghostish movie. My favorite Rolling Stones song is Paint It Black, and that's actually it's a big part of this movie. Yeah, it's a nice thriller. We got A Frailty. I haven't seen it yet, honestly. I'm surprised I haven't seen it yet. From what I've been told, it sounds like something to be right up my alley. I would like to see it. Shout out late Bill Paxton. We got Matthew McConaughey. So, obviously, I'm going to put that on my list. Candyman. The original Candyman is amazing. I think this gets overshadowed, and I think it's underrated because the sequels are kind of shitty. The first one's great. There's a lot of talk about gentrification and racism and urban legends. There's like a whole lot of stuff in there that they kind of bring at you subtly, but at the same time, not so much. I think it works really well. Tony Todd, fantastic as the Candyman. Virginia Madsen's in it. It's fantastic. I highly recommend it. Paranormal Activity, never seen. Not the biggest ghost fan, also not the biggest found footage fan, so this actually wasn't for me. Teaching Mrs. Tingle, I would say, it's alright, it's okay. This was the whole post-Scream thing, I think I would say it was like 97 or so. Katie Holmes is in it. Helen Mirren, I think, plays the teacher. It's directed by Kevin Williamson, who's directing Scream 7 that should be coming out here in the next couple weeks. It wasn't bad. Like, these kids kidnap their teacher and they want a better grade. It's a whole crazy thing. It wasn't bad. It was of the time. The Ring. The Ring's okay. This was basically what started the whole J-horror revolution in America by then. Ringu, the original Japanese movie, but this was the first remake they did that, we got The Grudge and Dark Water and One Missed Call, but like this is one of the better ones. A lot of the J-horror remakes really weren't that good. This was only one of the only ones that was decent. Final Destination 4, that was good. Psych, no. Weakest one of the one, easily. Everything about it, like, it's not bad, but it's easily the weakest one. Like, the kills are alright. This is the one for the ones that have seen this. This is the racetrack one, where everybody dies on the racetrack. One of the kills was kind of funny. If you see the one with the racist guy and the tow truck, that one was kind of funny, but overall, this one was like, it was underwhelming. One of those, you're not mad, you're just disappointed. Dead Alive, however, the bomb. I love this movie. This is early Peter Jackson. It is practical CG. It's a practical effects. It's gory. It's bloody. It's violent. I quote the priest. There's the kung fu priest where he goes, "I kick ass for the Lord." I quote it all the time. If you know about the lawnmower scene. But this movie is absolutely, it's hilarious. It's fantastic. Vampires. John Carpenter's Vampires. Pretty sweet. James Woods did great in here. You had Mark Boone Jr. for those that watch Sons of Anarchy. He was one of the vampire hunters in this. I want to say Billy Baldwin or Daniel. One of the Baldwin brothers was basically the second lead in this movie. And it's actually really good. It's a good, it's a horror action flick. Actually, it's the first DVD my parents ever bought, too. So, I like it. Halloween 6. I'm outie. This movie's a piece of shit. Not the worst one. We will get to the worst one later, but this is the second. This is my next to least favorite one. I've watched it a few times. It's not, depending on, there's the director's cut, there's the normal cut, different things happen. In one version, Michael may have done some things to Jamie, which, we know. In the other ones, that's his niece. He It's insinuated that he's done some stuff to her that begats a child. We'll leave it there. Paul Rudd's in it. I love Paul Rudd. This is, I think, one of, if not the first movie he did. But it's a mess. And the whole backstory about when they tried to film it and do everything, it's a whole thing. New Nightmare. This was surprisingly good, pretty sweet. I've seen this a bunch of times. New Nightmare's great. That was the whole meta thing where Freddy kind of sort of comes into the real world. Heather Langenkamp plays herself. Wes Craven plays himself. Robert Englund plays himself, but Freddy Krueger also comes into the real world. It's a whole thing. And there was a scene like with some earthquakes and stuff. And actually, they were filming it while the earthquake was happening in LA, and they used some of the B footage. So that was actually, it's kind of interesting when you're able to do stuff like that. Hostel, pretty sweet. I saw this one. I saw the second one in theaters. I saw the first one. I think I was deployed. I think it might have been my first deployment. It was during the whole torture porn, gore porn thing, like, you know, the Saws and the Hostels and that sort of thing. It's pretty brutal. Like, when you're not expecting it, when you're at the beginning of, like, the whole torture porn movement, I guess you would call it, you're not used to a lot of the gore. I'm obviously desensitized at this point. But yeah, some of the gore effects are pretty nasty. Like, dude gets his Achilles snipped and they show it. But yeah, I liked it. Freddy vs. Jason, fuck it, love this movie. They've been trying to do it for like 10, 15 years at this point. We got it. Robert Englund's in it. A lot of people didn't like Kane Hodder, and Ken Kirzinger played Jason, who actually, anybody that watched Friday the 13th Part 8, he's the cook in the diner that gets thrown against the mirror by Jason. So it's kind of cool that he goes on to play Jason himself, but you got Monica Keene, Jason Ritter, Zach Ward, Kelly Rowland was in this. Catherine Isabel, another Catherine Isabel movie. So there's a lot of people from that era that are in this movie. Plus, I fucking love the soundtrack. If you're a nu metal, metalcore kind of guy, this soundtrack is right up your alley. And for wrestling fans, Zach Gowen's WWF theme is actually one of the songs on the soundtrack. So I actually used to have the soundtrack on CD and blared it constantly. Saw 4. Psych. Yeah, like, there was a problem. They were coming out with these every year for, like, the first handful of them. Like, I want to say up to the first 7, I think it was, every year. And it just, like, that was the problem you had with it coming out every year. Cool, okay, we got this one. Okay, like, and it's just, they went through all the material too fast. And that was the first one they did after John Kramer officially died. But we know how horror movies work. 3D, I think the 3D is alright. It was a good, like, you know, if Saw stayed as a trilogy, or they waited a few years before the next one, I think this would have been better received. This one's kind of one of those retroactively, a lot of people don't like it. I don't think it was bad. The first 2 were the best. But yeah, it's alright. What are we at here? Final Destination. It's pretty sweet. The original one's pretty sweet. I do love the first one. It was kind of cool because once they got to the later ones, which I don't mind, it was just like, okay, we're just waiting for the next person to die. They did some cool things where it was like death was almost an entity following them, as opposed to doing things like, oh, Rube Goldberg traps like they did in the other ones. But I did like this. The Faculty, though. The Faculty. The bomb. I'm telling you right now, that is one of the most underrated horror movies I'll say it all right now, of all time. One of the most underrated of all time. It's like a invasion of the body snatchers, pod people type thing. Aliens are invading this high school. And Josh Hartnett, Jordana Brewster, Elijah Wood, Usher, Robert Patrick, Christopher McDonald, like, stat cast. The soundtrack was great. Like, in any movie that plays The Kids Are Alright by Offspring, you're alright by me. But absolutely one of my favorite horror movies of that era, and I think it's one of the most underrated horror movies of all time. Urban Legend. It's pretty sweet. This one came around here. Jamie Blanks directed this one. where people are, it's a slasher movie where people are being killed by urban legends. This is another one. You had Rebecca Gayheart, Alicia Witt, no, Tara Reid. I blanked on her name. Tara Reid, Michael Rosenbaum, Jared Leto, Robert Englund's in this one too. He plays the professor. This wasn't bad. It was a decent whodunit, like a slasher movie. The deaths were pretty cool. And I like this one. I watch this one. I try to watch that one about once a year. Willard, I'm gonna go, it's alright, but it's very on the alright, pretty sweet. Because I really like this movie. I honestly like this movie. It was one of those, it's a remake for people that don't know, and it's one of those, you're surprised they made a remake out of it, but it wasn't bad. Crispin Glover has these rats. He basically has all these rats that follow him. He's the meat guy that gets picked on especially by his boss, who's played by Arlie Ermy. But yeah, it's alright, but it fluctuates between it's alright and pretty sweet. I actually like this. I used to own this. I watched it occasionally. Not bad. House of a Thousand Corpses, pretty sweet. I did watch this on DVD. Actually, I was in Qatar the first time I watched this on DVD. Anybody that knows DVDs back in time used to have awesome DVD menus. I really miss that stuff. I think House of a Thousand Corpses had the best DVD menu of all time. Where they got Sid Haig coming in as Captain Spaulding, and he's showing you all the different menus, or the different options on the menu, and he would gradually get more and more pissed off at you if you just sat there and watched it. It was actually really funny. Also, terrifying movie. This was another one of those. It's like, you were surprised how gory it was. This is very Rob Zombie. Plus, he has a small cameo in it, too. But Chris Hardwick, Rainn Wilson, Walton Goggins is in this. Karen Black's in it. Bill Moseley. Like, once again, stacked. The Witch, never seen it. It, though, it's pretty sweet. This was, the original It was a made-for-TV movie. It was on ABC. I was about 8 years old, and this movie scared the shit out of me. Because this was before I started reading Stephen King. And it was a two-night miniseries. It's about a 4-hour movie. And people always say, you know, the kind of person that what kind of person somebody is by how they recognize Tim Curry. Right there. That's the first movie I remember Tim Curry being in. He played Pennywise. No, like you had Seth Green played one of the kids. John Ritter, Annette O'Toole, Harry Anderson. There was a lot, like, this, for a TV movie, there was a lot of people, a lot of famous people in this, too, so. Yeah, I do like, I've seen the new one. I do like this one better. The new one's not that bad, but I do like that one better. The Descent, not seen it, heard good things, we're gonna skip that one. Urban Legends Final Cut. It's alright. This is like, they took it less slasher, more giallo. It's a different college, because the first one was on a college, this is on a different college, but it's more of like filmmakers. They're trying to make an urban legend movie, and people start dying. Anthony Anderson, Eva Mendes is in it, Joey Lawrence. But yeah, this is like the first urban legend if you're more into slashers, the second one if you're more into like giallo type movies. Sixth Sense, the bomb. It's a classic. I mean, it's become a trope by this point about spoilers. Like, oh my god, he's been a ghost the whole time. But yeah, like, no, this came out of nowhere. Nobody knew what was going to happen to this movie. I just remember, I didn't see it in theaters. We saw it on DVD, and I was like, oh shit. And then you go back. This is one of those, it rewards you from watching it because it tells you everything in a subtle way. You don't realize that it's telling you this until you watch the movie. But yeah, classic. Trick or Treat. The bomb. I love anthology movies. Sam's a great villain. Once again, absolutely stacked cast. And I like, not only are they anthologies within the movie, they're not just standalone anthologies. All the stories are kind of intermingled with each other, because you'll see characters from one story pop up in another story as like maybe like a background character or somebody else. So they're kind of all interconnected, and it all makes sense at the end. It's a fantastic movie. Silence of the Lambs, the bomb. Great movie. Classic movie. Second Hannibal Lecter movie, Manhunter, was the first one. This was the second one, but this is obviously the most famous one. The last movie to win the big 5 Oscars, which was Best Picture, Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Director, and Best Screenplay. One of 3 movies to do it. This is the 3rd one. You can't say anything else about it. You can't speak highly enough about this movie. Scream, up there. Revolutionized slasher movies. This brought the whole... It's called the post-Scream era for a reason. Scream really changed. Like, before Scream, slashers were like... You didn't see them a lot in theaters. There was a lot of direct-to-DVD, direct-video. Like, there wasn't... Horror movies really any down period in the 90s until Scream. And they've kind of not really left the zeitgeist since Scream. So... Final Destination 3... This one's pretty sweet, and there's a reason I like it like this. One, it's kind of cool. Once again, for those that aren't sure, this is the roller coaster one. But they did something I've never seen before or since from the DVD. Because they recorded a bunch of other footage, and you had an option to either watch it as is, or they turned it into a choose-your-own-adventure where, depending on how you followed through, different people died in different places, some people survived. You would, at every single point, you could choose one path or another. And, like, this movie went on for over 2 hours, or I think you could end it within, like, the first 20 minutes. But it was kind of cool. It's like, oh, I survived this person, but they died over here. It was really cool. Something different. And, you know, I like to reward points on things that do things different. Blade. That was good, psych. Like, I like the Blade movies. I'm a huge Wesley Snipes fan. I like Ryan Reynolds. This one wasn't that good. This was the one they had Jessica Biel as the daughter of Whistler. They fought Dracula. You had the little Pomeranian with the blah. You know, it was... Yeah, it didn't work. Dawn of the Dead. Pretty sweet. This is the one that was written by James Gunn, who I'm obviously a huge fan of. Yeah. Really good. The beginning of the movie, the intro scene was fantastic. Yeah, they're stuck in the mall. A lot of cool kills in this movie. I really like this one. What do we else? Drag Me to Hell, I've not seen. Jacob's Ladder, I've seen bits, not enough to give a good opinion. All the Boys Love Mandy Lane, not seen it, not gonna vote. However, Shaun of the Dead is the fucking bomb. Absolutely love this movie. Actually, all 3 movies in the Cornetto trilogy are great, but this is the only horror movie. Hilarious. This movie's funny. I watch it all the time. A matter of fact, the scene where they play Can't Stop Us Now, or Don't Stop Us Now by Queen, I can watch it out of context, and I laugh every single time to this day. It is an absolutely fantastic movie. Hilarious, but it's also gory at the same time as a good, horror movie. The Strangers, the original Strangers. I remember this is pretty sweet. We're not talking about the new ones. This is the original one, and I liked it. This one is a terrifying movie because you don't know shit about them. They're strangers for a reason. It's primarily, not counting the strangers, I think there's 3 people in the entire movie, and 2 of them are the couple. And I was, my girlfriend at the time, when they did the big stinger at the end, it actually got her to scream really loud in the theater. But yeah, not bad. The Grudge, it's alright. This is when, like I said, this is when the J-horror thing, these are probably, I think, the 2 best ones. Most of them were really not that good. But it wasn't bad. Crazies I've not seen. Final Destination 2, I'm putting up here on... pretty sweet. That's actually my favorite one. The log truck. The highway crash. This is the one that terrified anybody to drive behind log trucks. I did like, yeah, like I said, this is my favorite one. I like the kills here. The whole idea, well, you know, oh, what, you know, they introduced the idea of, like, what if, you know, we die in a certain order, maybe we won't die, or if this person dies, the other, they added more to the lore, and I really liked it like that. The Frighteners. This is actually pretty good. It's alright, it's pretty sweet. It was a made-for-TV movie with Michael J. Fox. He was like a ghost hunter, but he faked it, and then he ran into real ghosts. what do you do? It's kind of hilarious. It's a Stephen King TV movie. Hostel Part 2. Pretty sweet. I watched this one in theaters. It was a nice continuation onto the first one, where all the characters were primarily... They switched it to where all the characters were primarily male. This one, all the characters were primarily female. And then there's a scene towards the end with a pair of scissors and some dogs. Made your boy cringe. Just saying. Bride of Chucky's pretty sweet. I love this movie. Bride of Chucky's awesome. You know what? Bride of Chucky's the bomb. Bride of Chucky's hilarious. I like it. They kind of did a new direction with it. With, you know, it was a little bit more comedic. Seed of Chucky's way more comedic. But no, this was a good one. I really liked it. The kills were fun. Chucky was great. You know, we added Tiffany to the lore. This is where we got the scarred Chucky. Jennifer Tilly. Fantastic as always. Yeah, people shit on it because it's fun and a little bit more comical than the other three, but I liked it. Halloween H2O is pretty sweet. This one is actually... This one, I think I put it up there... Because I've seen every Halloween movie. I think this is up there with the original and the 2018 one. That one's fantastic. Yeah, I think it's the best one of the... It was my number 2 after the original until the most recent trilogy. This is a fantastic movie. And it also opens up multiple timelines. There's a whole thing depending these movies are different movies are in canon, and some characters exist, some characters don't, depending on which movies you watch. And I think, honestly, if that's something you guys want to think, I think that would be a cool video to put together about Halloween timelines. House of the Haunted Hill remake I didn't see. I Know What You Did Last Summer. It was pretty sweet. I did like this one. I've seen it a handful of times. Once again, it was part of that whole era with Scream, I Know What You Did Last Summer. Those are the big heavy hitters. I've seen this one, the first one, the second one, and the third one. The third one's a piece of shit. If it pops up on this list, we know where it's going. But yeah, this one's a good one. However, the second one is alright. Second one's alright. It really didn't bring much to it. Instead of being in the fishing town, they want a trip to some tropical hotel and people start dying there. Jack Black plays a stoner. 7, the bomb. That movie is absolutely fantastic. Terrifying movie, and not just because Kevin Spacey's in it, but this is actually a terrifying movie. Surprisingly gory. But I think Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman do a good job together. Gwyneth Paltrow honestly wasn't bad in it too. This honestly overall is... I watch this movie any chance I get. What we got next? Oh, the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. I'm outie. Fuck that movie. That movie's garbage. The biggest thing I didn't like about it is that it was always insinuated. We know Freddy Krueger was a child killer. There was minor assumptions, but they never said it outright that he may have done other things to the children. This movie just straight up said, yeah, he did it. He was a creep. He was a PDF file. And yeah, that really just it really just soured me on this movie. Some of the one kill they had at the beginning of the movie was cool, but yeah, that movie's a piece of shit. Event Horizon I haven't seen yet. I heard I need to see. The Mist is pretty sweet. Anybody that's seen The Mist knows about that ending. And the movie itself is pretty good, where they're trapped in you got the two groups of factions that are trapped in this grocery store because there's this mist and there's these gigantic bug type creatures that are in the mist that might kill you. But that ending ruins people. And if you've seen it, you know what I mean. The Hills Have Eyes 2, not that good. I did like The Hills Have Eyes. The remake. I like the original. I like the remake, but here's the thing. Hills Have Eyes, great movie. The original Hills Have Eyes 2, not that good. Hills Have Eyes remake, pretty damn good. I enjoy it. Hills Have Eyes 2 remake. That it's not a remake of Hills Have Eyes 2. It's its own thing. Garbage. So apparently every other Hills Have Eyes movie is great. So, what else we got here? Species. It's pretty sweet. It's a kind of science fiction-y horror, a little bit of action in there, but she's a she's a kind of a shapeshifter, bug lady type thing. It's actually not that bad. Signs is actually pretty sweet too. I like Signs. It's more of an alien invasion horror movie thing, but I like Mel Gibson. I thought played it really well. I thought what kind of knocks it down from The Bomb, because it is a really good movie, the reveal that the aliens are weak, or their main weakness is water, and you land on a planet that's like 90% water. Okay, whatever. I thought aliens were supposed to be smarter. Wolf Creek, I haven't seen it. I've heard good things. In the Mouth of Madness, I remember it being pretty sweet. I haven't watched it since I was a teenager, but this was another John Carpenter movie, and I thought it was pretty sweet. Sam Neill did a really good job on this. Jeepers Creepers as a movie is pretty sweet. Victor Salva, you're a piece of shit. All right, just gonna throw that out there. That's the only one I've been able to stomach to watch. I actually quit watching the second one for a good reason. But Jeepers Creepers as a horror movie, it's honestly pretty good. The Collector. This one's pretty sweet. Collector, if anybody's haven't seen it, is there's a guy going around killing people using like traps in their house, and it's kind of brutal. And another guy breaks into the house as like a thief to like rob them, sees this going on, and he's kind of like torn between helping them and trying to escape, and it's really hard to do. And it's a brutal one. Like that's a violent one. The second one is too. The Hills Have Eyes remake. I put it up there with pretty sweet. I just talk about how much I like this one. The first one is brutal, and the first one is brutal. So, where are we at here? The Haunting. I remember watching this, and I'm liking this too. The Haunting's pretty good. This is another one I watched. My parents had this on DVD. Owen Wilson, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Liam Neeson, Lily Taylor. This is a good one. If you like a good gothic horror haunted house type thing. Okay, this might surprise people. My Bloody Valentine 3D is the bomb. This came out during, I want to say, around the 2008s when 3D, they start kind of bringing back 3D movies a little bit. This one's really good. I think for a lot of the remakes, I think it's one of the few that's up there with the original. I love the original My Bloody Valentine, and I think this is up there with the original. They did a lot of the same things too, but they added enough different stuff to where it wasn't just a rehashing, and I liked it. Plus Tom Atkins in it. I fucking love Tom Atkins. Where we at now? Paranormal Activity. Okay, another one. Valentine. We talked about Jamie Blanks earlier, who did the first Urban Legend. I love Valentine so much. Especially Happy Valentine's Day a couple days ago, guys. But yeah, basically a group of friends are being stalked and killed by a person wearing a Cupid mask. Linkin Park's on the soundtrack. But yeah, I watch that movie a couple times a year, and it's actually probably my favorite movie that Jamie Blanks ever did. From Dusk Till Dawn, pretty sweet. That movie, if you know, you know. It's a lot of fun. We like From Dusk Till Dawn. The kind of movie where it's kind of like a thriller type thing, and then halfway through it, fuck it, we're a vampire movie now. It's called, plus Cheech Marin plays like at least a couple parts in this movie, and it's great. Nice kind of like stinger. Oh, what's going on back here at the end of the movie? Sequels weren't bad, but honestly, stick to the original. Halloween Resurrection. I'm outie. That right there, the worst Halloween movie I've ever seen, bar none. I've watched it once. I've seen every other Halloween movie a couple times, even part 6. That one time. That movie is not redeeming in any way. The idea of like, oh, there's a gigantic tomb, crypt, basement underneath the Myers house the whole time. Busta Rhymes was beating up Michael Myers with Kung Fu. Fuck that movie. How about that? The Craft, pretty sweet. That one's I actually do like The Craft. That one's a fun watch. Especially if you like, obviously witchcraft. It's a witch thing. And this was, Nev Campbell. I liked it. I think they did a remake recently. I haven't seen it yet, but this one's actually pretty good. Let Me In, I have not watched. Leprechaun's aight. Those movies are kind of hit or miss. They're alright. This is the one that Jennifer Aniston was the first movie, one of the first movies she did. She did it right before she did Friends. She really doesn't talk about it anymore. It's okay. Warwick Davis was great in it. He was the best part of the movie. But they got really strange. The Vegas one was kind of weird. He goes into space in the fourth one because everybody went to space. But, it's alright. Saw, the original Saw. Definitely going up here. Movie scared the shit out of me. I remember I was in my first unit, and I was in the Army, and I got stuck doing kind of like paperwork and all night. Half I was in the office half the night watching this while I was doing busy work, and that movie scared the shit out of me. And if you went in that completely blind and you didn't know the twist was, I think it's one of the best twists in horror movies. House of Wax. House of Wax is actually pretty sweet. The House of Wax remake, I think, unfairly gets a lot of shit for whatever reason, because a lot of you said once you had that post-Scream like that till about 2010, that 2002 to about 2010 time frame, everybody said every horror movie was garbage. They said, oh, they're all trying to do the Scream thing. No, this gets a bad rep. This one's actually pretty damn good. Go watch it. It's actually kind of fun to watch. Piranha, it's alright. I saw it once. Piranha's alright. It's a remake of the original Piranha movie in 3D. A lot of blood. Dude gets his wiener bitten off. Christopher Lloyd's in it. We do love Christopher Lloyd here. Insidious, I've not seen any of those. Texas Chainsaw Remake. Wait, is that the beginning? Yeah, Texas Chainsaw Remake's actually pretty good. I like it. The Texas Chainsaw Remake with Jessica Biel is actually pretty good. There was a couple of them that did pretty damn good. It was pretty close. I did like that one. Scream 2. We didn't see the Amityville remake. Scream 2, pretty sweet. Yeah, that came out, I think, less than a year after the original one. A lot more brutal. I think there was more kills in that one, a lot more brutal. But yeah, a lot of people actually consider this one better than the original, so I still like the original one the best, but I mean, I can see people liking that one as the best. Saw 2. Saw 2 was pretty good. I saw that one in theaters. That one was pretty sweet. I like the continuation where they brought in Donnie Wahlberg as the cop, and you kind of like, the twists were still there where you're like, okay, it got to the point where, like the M. Night Shyamalan movies, you're expecting the twist. Once you got into the later Scream, or the later Saw films, you were expecting the twist to come. And, this was before that, I think. Saw 3 kind of suffered a little bit expecting the twist because there was a lot of twist in this one. But it was still pretty good. Saw 3. No, I'm sorry, okay, I missed a mistake. Saw 3D was a piece of shit. Saw 3D is actually part 7. I'm a moron. Saw 3 is the one I was talking about earlier. That's pretty sweet. Saw 3D is part 7. They just put it in 3D and called it 3D. Yeah. Saw 6. Saw 5. Like, they really went downhill after 3. Disturbing Behavior is actually pretty good. I know a lot of pretty sweets here, but honestly, there's a lot of movies people think are I think a lot of underrated from this area. Disturbing Behavior, this one had Nick Stahl and freaking Katie Holmes, James Marsden, another Catherine Isabel movie. Where a lot of kids, the wrong side of the track kids, all of a sudden they're like that, and the next day they're like the blue chipper, a nice guy, hi, how are you? And it's a very old, it's a good flick. Halloween, Rob Zombie's Halloween is That one's pretty sweet. That one's, I would, as somebody who likes the Rob Zombie movies and like Halloween movies, I was surprised in how brutal that one was. That one is not, That one's a decisive one. Halloween 2, it's alright. It just kind of played more into the whole brutality of it for no reason. I did like it better. I did like the original one better. Sorority Row. I watched this a lot. I actually think this is pretty sweet. This is probably one of the rare only ones on this list. It's based on the original Sorority Row movie, The Deaths on Sorority Row, or I'm just blanking on the title. But Sorority Row, I think, is better than the original. I thought the original was actually kind of boring a little bit. That one's a lot of fun. It's very of the era. And it's one of those, oh, cool, I don't like you, I hope you die. Yeah, chances are they're going to. And some of the main, I guess you'd say main murder weapon's actually kind of different. So he gets cool points for a different one. There was a nasty death scene with a wine bottle, plus Carrie Fisher's in this movie. We love Carrie Fisher. But yeah, that's actually that's a good movie. Seated Chucky, I'm gonna put up on pretty sweet as well. I like it. I know a lot of people don't like it because it really skews more towards the humorous part of it, but I like how they try to go with the meta where it's Chucky's now in the real world and he wants to help. He wants to use the real Jennifer Tilly as a surrogate mother. And Redman's in it wanting to play a director, wants to be a director where he wants to have Jennifer Tilly play Mary Magdalene in the Bible, or was it either the Virgin Mary or Mary Magdalene in the movie about the Bible? Yeah, it's out there. That one's a decisive one, but I really like it. Devil's Rejects. Oh, we know where this is going. The best Rob Zombie movie he's done. Period. It's the sequel to House of a Thousand Corpses. And, oh my god, the first one was brutal, but the Devil's Rejects was brutal in a realistic way. And it was really good. Much more exploitation grindhousey than the first one. The first one was a little stylish. This one took all the stylish shit and threw it out the window. Plus, everybody knows when they play Freebird at the end. I want to go out swinging like that. High Tension, I've not seen. Blade. Blade is pretty sweet. The original Blade is actually pretty sweet. The dance scene at the beginning where he's in the vampire dance club, and you hear the techno songs playing. That's on my workout playlist because I'm like, I gotta lift a couple extra because I ain't trying to get killed by a vampire and or Blade. But that, honestly, you have to think that a lot of that was actually, people forget that's a comic book movie. And I honestly think you have to credit that as one of the reasons comic book movies became successful, because that came out before X-Men. So honestly, I think a little bit more, Blade should get more credit than it already has. Blade 2 was pretty sweet. Excuse me. I saw that in theaters, and I saw the second Blade first. And it was kind of cool where you had the whole group of vampire hunters, then you had the vampires. And it was... Plus, it's actually, not only is it the first Blade movie I saw in theaters, that's the first Guillermo del Toro movie I ever saw. That was actually also Easter Sunday on top of that, so... Whole lot of stuff going on there. What do we got now? 13 Ghosts. Oh, 13 Ghosts. The bomb. Absolutely love this movie. Shannon and Elizabeth is in it. Tony Shalhoub, Matthew Lillard. The kills are great, especially when the dude that gets vivisected by the glass. The makeup for the ghost is absolutely fantastic. F. Murray Abraham's in this, and he plays such a douchebag. Oh, he's such a douchebag. But yeah, not a big ghost movie, but when you get that early Millennium style, it works. The Hitcher is all right. I remember seeing that in theaters. Like, it's all right. It really didn't change anything too much. It did what it needed to. Sean Bean's in it, so you know Sean Bean's gonna die. He dies at everything. But yeah, I liked it. It's all right. I haven't watched it since I saw it in theaters, but I mean, I wouldn't turn it off or refuse. I'm like, to me, it'd be one of those movies if I'm flipping around and I see it and there's nothing else that is going to appeal to me at that time, I'll be like, fuck it, I'll watch it. Flatliners, haven't seen it yet. I know that movie's been around since I was a kid. Haven't seen it. Friday the 13th, the remake, is actually pretty sweet. This came out around the same time as like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Nightmare on Elm Street. It threw me. The first time I saw this movie, I got pissed because he kills a lot of people in the beginning of the first part of the movie, like before the end credits or before the beginning credits. And I was mad because he killed so many people. I thought the whole movie was going to be him stalking the only one left, and it's going to be one person against Jason the whole movie. And I'm like, that takes the fun out. I was like, oh no, here's a whole new group of people. He killed a bunch. Here's a bunch. But yeah, I think that movie gets underrated. And I wish they would do so. I know they're coming out with the Crystal Lake prequel on Peacock, but I think they need to get the shit out of the court because you can do a lot of stuff with Friday the 13th they haven't done yet. There was an idea of them doing a Friday the 13th in the snow, and I'm like, that would be kind of cool because horror movies in the snow, like anybody's ever seen Dead Snow, you can do some cool shit. And the last movie we got here, Wrong Turn. Wrong Turn's pretty sweet. They get really, really crappy by the end, but like the first two, I do like the second one better, one where Henry Rollins is doing like a reality show. First one's pretty good. I do like that one. If you come across that one, at least give the first two a watch, and then the rest, if you're a completionist. But overall, so we go through, and like I said, there's a handful here I haven't seen yet, so I didn't want to rate those. But we can see kind of like my idea here. A lot of pretty sweets. Like I said, there's a lot of movies that people shit on in this era. Some alright, some, not so good, and then the real crappy ones right here. Two of them were Halloween movies. But thank you everybody guys for watching my first of many, many, many movie videos. Follow us all here on the group project. Follow all of us on X and all our socials. Also, big thanks to Cody Leach for putting together this tier list. I'm going to link the actual tier list itself, the website, down below. I'm going to link make a link to his video, him doing this down below. Please go follow him. I'm a big fan of his work. So in the meantime, in between time, I will see you all later.